Welcome to South Harmon.
Oh, ready to fight. Ready to fight. What's good, everybody? Wednesday night AMA live and in the building. I like the contrast of colors we came up with tonight, too.
It worked out, actually, didn't it?
Look at us. Look at us. Dapper young gentlemen. Though I feel like I'm 8 million years old right now, Adam. Here's a good story. Hadn't really worked out in a while.
Okay.
Right? You decided to hit the kettlebells on Monday as soon as I got home from work. I'm paying for it today.
I was going to say, sometimes you don't even need to say anything. I know exactly where you were headed with that one. But
there isn't a leg muscle that doesn't fucking hurt.
You can
Except
feel
maybe those like ones that control your toes.
You can feel everything. Just that's the way I think about it, right?
Oh, it's so terrible. So terrible. I look like an old man trying to get up and down stairs. I look like an old man that just got, butt fucked.
Oof.
like hard.
That bad? That bad, huh?
Yeah. Like it wasn't nice. It wasn't sensual. It was a lot of aggression. A lot of aggression.
Oh,
how about
no.
That's how we're starting it out. Let's go. We'll go
I like
to Wednesday.
It. Wednesday AMA can't start any better than that. By the way, when you get old, when you just want to rock other people's jerseys, go check out Fanatics, our partner, certified shit. We got Jameer Gibbs and Bo Nix. Is that what we're rocking with today?
Let's go. And you got one we haven't even seen him wear yet.
Yeah, it's the one thing I can beat everyone else to the punch, right? Like, how many opportunities do you have to wear a jersey someone never wore? I guess Fizz did it with the Des Bryant Saints one, right?
That's true. That's true. Though everyone who has the Jameer Gibbs 26, just got to be pissed right
Speaking
now.
of butt fucked, yeah. Right.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, certified shit. Go get you a new Jameer Gibbs number 0, like Adam's got.
We got people. Speaking of everybody in the chat here,
you can't have this Bro Nix one though. That's Bro Nix is all mine.
We have a mock draft on tap here. 12 teams.
Let's go.
We don't settle here, as you know. We got to get all 12, so we need 4 people to fill out this mock, Mike. And I put the link.
3. We're down to 3.
Down to 3. I put the link in there. First come, first serve.
Yeah, make sure you
make it available to draft veterans. Oh, yeah. Good catch.
Come on, Adam. Come on. What is this?
What is this, amateur hour? Dude, actually, that'd be kind of sweet. With a 12-round rookie draft only.
No, I'm not doing 12 rounds of rookies.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Stop giving a shit at 4.
That would be absolutely electric.
One lonesome person is all we are waiting on. And
Great
we
catch.
Are filled.
Thank you very much, Coop. That would have been awesome. But
perfect.
We're gonna pass though, right? Also, if you see right behind Mike's dome, just in the corner right here, you can hardly see it. We've got to make sure we mention signed shit. Signed. sh.it. Oh my gosh! Speaking of which, Mike, here's another thing we've got to do.
Ding ding!
I hear they have awesome autographed helmets too. They do, Cameron. Matter of fact, this was a guy that was as close as you could get. When I say close, he actually did win, but only for a temporary amount of time. He temporarily won the helmet,
He was like that old Geico commercial with the $1 on the fishing reel.
You got to be quicker than that. You almost had it.
That's Cameron. Appreciate you, Cameron. Appreciate you.
That is some good stuff. All right. Well, we have filled, Mike. What do you say, buddy?
We're good, buddy. We'll throw that baby up. Let's get it popping, because then I'm sure we're going to have lots of questions.
Let's get her popping. All right. We finally made it, huh?
A lot of green lights.
Made it. All right. Let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. 12-team Superflex, so everyone, just so that there's no, crying and whining and moaning. We're going to be drafting this as if it's lineup. Not that it really matters. We're only going 12 rounds, okay? But lineup, start 11, Dynasty League. All right, it's going to be a 1.75 tight end premium. Everything else standard as set. All right,
vanilla.
Which, vanilla.
You put enough of a tight end premium on there, Pello will probably take Tyler Warren at 102.
I put it 1.75. I wanted to make sure we got spicy enough to see if we could get some, tight end early drafters here.
That's good. That's good.
All right, Koopa. We're going to start it with you, buddy. Go ahead. Do your worst. All right, Jaden Daniels off the
He's
clock.
quick.
The
He's quick
101,
with it.
very fast.
See, if I would have taken the 101, I would have wore the J-Day jersey.
Ooh.
So I was trying to think. I was trying to plan out because it took 12. Coincidentally, listen, I want the top 4 quarterbacks. I really do.
Yeah.
But after that,
With you.
I do in third round reversal, Adam. I really like drafting 12.
Yeah, I took the 8 spot just to draft somewhere I normally wouldn't, just to see. Mike, I'm very much actually, E and I are co-managing the league where we're in a startup, and I was like, if we can get one of the first 3, even 4, cool. After that, though, I would have let me get the caboose. I'm with you on that very much. We'll see what Obi does here.
No D-Walk. We leave marathon style to marathon.
Well, when you have to ask, it's a good thing. So at least we're not marathon's taking over the world. Not quite. We're not quite the whole world, though. This is just regular dynasty startup. The other good news is you can kind of tell, at least, I hope, because we got J-Day, Josh Allen, and Lamar off the board early. Marathon style, for those that don't know, though, is
Obi's going to disappoint us.
First 3. Obi, don't you be that guy or gal. Obi, don't you do it.
Obi. Shame, Obi. Bad. I knew we'd have one. We couldn't get a perfect one.
I paused it.
He did.
But it doesn't matter because we're going to – Mike, what do you say here? What are we doing for him?
Kick him out.
Well, other than the obvious.
Kick him out, put D-Walk in.
D-Walk, you weren't even here. Damn it, D-Walk. Who are we giving him, Mike?
I told you, kick him out, put D-Walk in.
You want to kick him out for real?
Yeah, for real. Show up.
All right. Obi, 1 Kenobi.
Boom. See, Coop is with me. Like, we're savage, brother. You're too nice.
Well, it's more about on air trying to figure out how the hell to kick this motherfucker out of here,
I don't even know how the fuck you kick somebody out of a block.
That's what I'm just saying. I don't actually know on the clock how to do this. I guess I can go into here, remove. All right. We've opened it. Save. He's gone.
Now you can.
That link should have an availability. All right.
Got it. Nailed it.
He had one job. One job.
He did. And I saw the tag in Discord where you're like, nobody join unless you can make the picks.
I tried my hardest to make I tried my hardest to make it like something you want to do, but also made sure to preface, hey, don't you fuck this up for everybody here, all right?
Yeah. Do you got to post that invite link again? Put it in the chat. Fuck, we'll get one more.
Come on. It was still in the chat, but I'll go ahead and,
why not?
drop it one last time for the sake of fun.
See? Chef's the volunteering. You got D-Walk around. We got all kinds of
the
good
link.
people.
I put the link in the chat, by the way, earlier, but we'll go ahead and do it again.
But we got true shitheads here. They already filled that chat up. That shit's buried.
It's a good point.
We're on to Cincinnati.
It also doesn't help that I'm trying to kick people, get links back in the damn. All right, there it is. South Harmon Dynasty, you see it. We got one spot left. Hopefully it lets it fill.
Hopefully. I don't know how this shit works in mocks, but whatever. Figure it out.
Well, Mike, the first 3 picks are as we said they should be, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we get Obi kicked and we get someone in here in a hurry.
I don't know.
I don't know if get someone to join after starting. I mean, what do we do here? We just draft for it?
Yeah, fuck it. Listen, Chef's in the chat. How about you let Chef just say in the chat?
It says won't let me claim.
See, there you go. Pick a guy from the chat, and they can just tell you who they're taking.
All right,
from
yeah. Okay, let's go.
Chat team.
Michael Talbot.
You're a winner.
Okay, Michael. You're gonna be. We have to pause this every time when it comes up, but you're the drafter. Okay. You control.
Try to think ahead too. Like put it in there. Even if the guy gets taken, give us 2 options. First and a second. Backup.
Hold on, they're asking if I let it auto,
Nope.
will it? I'm just gonna.
Nope.
I'm gonna see if someone can claim now. If no one can claim, Dookie, don't make this pick.
Nope.
Actually, Mike, what do you think? Burrow, we leave it?
No. Chat.
No?
He wanted Chase.
Oh, he wanted Chase. Okay, well then here, hold on.
We're doing
Pause.
this official.
Pause. Draft. We're gonna make it change player to Chase. All right, Dookie, we're going back to you. Okay.
All right. Now you back up.
Back up with a minute.
Now we back up.
Okay.
Like the water.
There it is. 1.75 tight end premium, as Coop said.
There we go. Finally. Somebody who respects Jalen Hurts.
There it is.
Appreciate you,
There it
Dookie.
is. Otto didn't respect him. Team 4 didn't respect him. Obi didn't respect him. Come on.
ADP don't respect him.
Nobody. The disrespect. All right. Joe Burrow comes off at the 106 now, Mike. How do you feel about the first 6? Talk to me.
Chase is interesting. Like, I usually don't see him that high, but you kind of like it. I'm taking Jalen Hurts every time. First 4 should all be the same. Every single draft. I'm going to die on that hill.
Well, Mike.
Now we open it up, Adam. Now you get to see what you're made of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on brand and on what I gotta do what I said I would do, and that's
Malik Neighbors.
My wide receiver 1. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that shit was coming.
I wasn't sure if he'd make it to 108. You know.
That's fair. 1.75 tight end premium. We haven't seen Bowers go yet, which is kind of interesting. But these are shitheads. These are friends of the show, friends of the program, doing me proud.
Doing me proud, absolutely.
And then JCap, a shit commander, of course.
I think JCap knew exactly what was going on.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, like 1.75 tight end premium. There was no way he was going to make it out of round 1, was there? Realistically,
should be. He should be like a 4th round pick.
Well, there he is, JCap.
See, just had to go Bowers. It's queued up.
He said I felt cute.
I knew it. I should probably think about what the fuck I'm doing at 12, huh?
Well, you got 2 picks to make, so you're fine. Shimmy. Don't you dare be the one that does this again.
Bijan.
Mike, what do you think about running backs in round 1? I can respect it, but curious your thought.
I respect it too. Like, I just don't do it.
Fair.
It's like, just don't do it. These are just my startup rules for 2025, Adam. I don't let Jalen Hurts fall. I don't reach on a wide receiver, especially if one of these good quarterbacks is still available, and I don't take Brock Bowers in round 1.
All right, none of that touched Bijan, but I love what I'm hearing.
It was one of them. I started with it. I said,
I know.
I just don't do it.
I'm just kidding. All right, now put your money where your mouth is, Mike. You got 2 picks back, bike to bike. What do you do here on the turn, Mike? 112, 201.
You know me, I usually like to just quarterbacks, but we'll try something a little different tonight, Adam.
I also can respect that. All right. Look at how far we have come. Pause.
Well, different.
But this right here, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, I do actually believe that at this moment in the current market that we're playing and living in, if you're basically able, I think, to get 2 of the top 5, 6 wide receivers like you just did there, I think that's probably the play in the back half here, where you still got 301 coming back your way. I think there's still going to be some quarterbacks you can grab at that 301 spot.
We'll find out. Fuck around and find out.
We will find out. We got a lot of picks coming up in between, but I don't know. I have a feeling. A feeling. Seth Dywald. How do you feel about the start here for Seth? We got Patty Mahomes and Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's just taking value. That's all he's doing, right? This is why picking at the back is actually kind of fun, because everybody else makes the decisions for you.
That's fair. That's fair and true.
I mean, the first time you got to like really set the trend is that beginning of the 3rd round. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because there's a big tier here at the back end. Like the next couple of players that go, you can make an argument from like Neighbors on to when you're back up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of like the same thing, really. You're just kind of planting your flag a little bit. It's not as divided as it used to be. So for the most part, you're just picking whatever's left over here, like what you like. But when the 3rd round reversal hits, you're picking at the back half.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you kind of got to like, all right, now what the fuck we doing? We going win now? We going youth movement? We going productive struggle? If you started, you double tap quarterback, say at the back end, like if you went Mahomes and Caleb, for example, there. Like then in the 3rd round, you're like, do I do it again? Mm-hmm. do I do it again? Do I beat that guy? So that's when you kind of get the decisions to be made. But
so JCap taking Amon-Ra, that was going to be my pick. Mike, I thought
about Amon-Ra instead of Puka. Like it was tough between the two. But I wanted to make you proud.
My man. My motherfucking man. I think what I'm going to do here, Mike, I really am strongly considering Genty. However, what I want to do, and I try to do, if it's close enough, to stay young and stay flexible early when I can. So I think flexibility of BTJ, Mike, is going to be what I go ahead and go with, even though I really was tempted to take Genty right there.
So I got to ask you then, BTJ, how much higher do you have him than Travis Hunter?
That's a great question. I'll tell you what, buddy. Sometimes the best way to do things is to pull up my ranks. But I have, I believe, BTJ at 7. I think I have Travis Hunter inside my top 15, like 14.
Okay.
There's a difference, maybe a tier, honestly, though. It's nothing like insane, right?
Yeah.
I think Travis Hunter belongs in the 3rd. If he falls to the early 4th, I'd be ecstatic, I think, personally. How do you feel? What's the difference for you with BTJ and Hunter?
Same shit.
Okay, similar.
Same shit, but no one's ever going to draft Travis Hunter at the 205.
Not
right now.
Right, not in this offseason. I can agree with that.
Not until you do a startup maybe in September or October. Like, that's best case scenario.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I got to pause this again. Hold on, Barry.
Yeah.
My B. You guys are right. I'm out here yapping. I'm trying to man the whole thing. Okay. You are back up on the clock to our guy.
Flocking Flock said Bo Nix, so let's go with that one since we're
All right. Michael, if you're here, I'll give you a couple seconds because I gave you this chance. Do you want to go with Bo Nix or do you want to ride somewhere else? I'll give you about 15 seconds to let me know how you're feeling.
1.75 on that tight end premium, by the way.
Thank you, Mike. That is correct.
Look at that. I pay attention.
Here you go. Fizz is approving. Okay, he wants Nico Collins, by the way, so we'll go ahead and do that. I can definitely get behind that.
He wants Nick O'Collins.
Okay, Nick O'Collins. It's like a 3 names.
Nick O'Collins.
I love that. All right, so we're gonna resume. Barry, back to you. A minute on the clock. All right.
Nick O'Collins.
I hope you got sniped with Nick O'Collins, but no, Bo Nix. He goes ahead and.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did that. Barry's going. Thank you,
Bro Nix. Let's go.
All right, Mike, you're getting ready to come up on this 3rd round reversal.
Sure am.
Are we testing?
Like hanging out here.
I was gonna say, are we testing your queue, or how are you feeling?
No. There's kind of what I thought, right? A lot of similarities to Deco's ADP, and now we can say Tom's ADP. Tom's got a dope ADP website.
By the way,
now.
I was about to say, Mike, I'm going to do some startup videos coming up here, and
my man,
I'm excited that. Thank you, Tom. Tom is one of the OG listeners. Love Tom, and the new info looks really dope, man. It's not over the top. It just gets the job fucking
simple.
Done. Yes.
Simple and to the fucking point. Exactly.
Sometimes less is more, buddy.
Oh, man.
Ladster gone.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Did it? Were you considering the Menage a Trois 3 in a row?
I was considering it, and Adam, I'm still going to do the Menage a Trois.
Oh,
I still believe.
Let's go, Marv.
I still believe.
Wow.
I need to get me a Marv jersey.
Mike, I was going to say, if I would have known that we were there, I would have. You know what?
Yeah.
I may have to. If I would have gotten them, maybe it was a little more fitting. I don't know if I can throw it on.
I don't really like that red one, though. I really don't.
Mike, here's the thing. Do you remember the whole Fanatics? Speaking of Fanatics, funny about how a year ago he would not sign with them. Said he had leverage, all this stuff. That was the only one I could find with the stitched jerseys was the red color, because I'm with you on that color. And I really prefer the stitched numbers and letters if I can get them.
Cardinals can do better with their home color jersey. Man,
honestly, I think their entire. I feel like their jerseys are just kind of
meh.
Yeah, they've never really been it. Okay, but Justin Herbert and Kyler coming off the board, the next 2 picks, Mike. How are you feeling overall about the board? Don't go giving anything away as far as people that are available in values. No. I got one pick.
Good quarterbacks coming off the board here. I like it. Both guys landing their Superflex quarterback. Now they got a nice advantage, too, on the league, other than Soggy Danger and Barry with the double tap of quarterback.
Yeah.
Filling those quarterbacks up. Love it. I think we can all agree I got the best wide receiver room in the league.
I mean, yeah, it's hard. Well, you got 3.
I have the worst quarterback room, the worst running back room, and the worst tight end room, though. For sure.
Wow. Mike.
Baker
in the 3rd.
God
okay.
damn.
J-Cap.
All right.
Bowers, Amon-Ra, and Baker. Wow.
Yeah. Baker, that's early for me, for Baker.
Mm-hmm.
J-Cap's, he's batting 33%. Amon-Ra, good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
I'll tell you what, Mike. Man, this is tough here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the 3-way receiver with you, but I'm barely these two are literally neck and neck for me, and I'm going to go ahead and take I still believe, regardless of the Justin Fields BS, I'm still very in on Garrett Wilson. You probably know who I was tight and tied between with.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't spoil it for you.
Thank you. Well, it would be okay if you did now since I let him go, but yeah, I'm with you. Let's let the people be honest. Let's see what they got, Theo?
So I do got to ask you, though.
Tell me.
G-Dub over JSN, huh?
That was it. That was my conversation. To me, Mike, it's the same tier. You could make a case probably that JSN maybe a little bit younger, trying to be a little more flexible, but
this 3 wide receiver start, why are you copying me, bro?
The great part is, I will say, I can get behind what you're saying, but since I drafted first, I got to be honest with you. I feel like you're copying me. I feel like we're doing the Spider-Man gif. The Spider-Man gif right now.
Well, no, technically, I made 3 picks before you made 3 picks. I mean,
well, one person started drafting at the 8. One person took the pick, the nice 12 spots. Here's the thing. Now at the 408, are you going to copy me again? I'm actually going to ask you, though. Mike, what's the difference for you between Marv, JSN, and Garrett Wilson?
Yep, Team 4. Make sure you undo that one.
Sorry. Wow, A.J. Brown is a value there, but give me one sec here. Let's go ahead and hit the pause the draft. Come on. Pause. And remove player. So who are we going with, guys, in the chat? I know it was trying to find him here. Michael Talbot, where are we at? What we thinking?
Mm-hmm.
It's your world. We're just living in it for a moment. Anyway.
We want some Marion Hampton.
Hampton, okay. All right, DB, back to you. 4 minutes.
I think you could turn off the auto draft, too, if you wanted to. That way you won't have to keep...
That's probably a good idea to try to do that. Sometimes, Mike... I need you so much more than you even realize,
Between Marv, Garrett Wilson, and JSN, I prefer Marv. Definitely at the front of that.
I agree. I agree. I'm with you, by the way, on that part.
The difference between Garrett Wilson and JSN is a tough one. I'm going to give the edge to JSN, though, because we've seen a lot of years out of Garrett Wilson now where we just keep making the same, like, wait till he gets a quarterback. Wait till he gets a quarterback. Wait till he gets a quarterback. And we did that for a long time with Terry McLaurin, and then by the time he actually got a quarterback, it's like when the dude's like 30 now. We don't fucking care. We don't care. I just don't want to fall back into that trap. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen this story before. I'm not saying he's bad, and I think with Fields there, Fields got some nice experience with G-Dub. He could have a really good year. But what if Fields also struggles passing the football again and we're right back to the same shit? Well, just wait till next year till he gets a quarterback. Like, the clock's ticking for G-Dub, right? You don't do shit this year, buddy. Like, welcome to the 6th round. That's where he's at. JSN has another really good year. Marv bounces back. Like, those guys all of a sudden are Brian Thomas, Nico Collins territory pretty easily.
Koopa. Don't you do it. All right, we're good. I hear what you're saying, and I think I can make the case for both sides. You already kind of talked about the pro JSN side. I think for me, with new quarterback there, right, and the expectations being so high for JSN, I'm a little bit worried that we've only seen it for, I'd say 3/4. We had 3/4 of a great season from JSN. I won't take anything away from that, by the way. He was electric. Garrett Wilson, though, has proven to me, I think, the target earning ability last year, really turning it on, even when Rodgers makes them trade for fucking Devontae Adams. I feel like Garrett Wilson's value is a little bit more cemented, where JSN I could see rise. I don't think it's going to go too much higher, even if he has a good year from here, but I could see a little bit more of a fall from him. Is the reason I think I went Garrett Wilson. But I still think Garrett Wilson and JSN are super close. I can make the case either way. I think they're both guys that should finish inside the top 15 this year, and they both have the opportunity to get probably – one thing about Garrett Wilson for sure that I just want to put this point. Garrett Wilson's target earning has been like inside the top 5 every single year. That much I feel like we can, even with Fields, count on.
Understandable.
What are we doing here, by the way? This is on my part. Rashee Rice, please. Okay. Happily do that.
It. Michael Talbot's on point, man. Usually these chat
Whoa.
guys.
By the way, 404, Mike. 404. How do you feel about Rashee Rice at the 404?
You know how I feel about Rashee Rice. Like, how many times we got to say it on this show?
Well, considering it was just a pick, I feel like it's maybe worth one more thing.
Okay, one more time.
One more time, yeah.
I'm good, man.
All right, let's see what the hell am I gonna do here?
Look at that, Theo. Crashy Rice, love it.
Wow, Crashy Rice. Damn.
I do understand the upside and the appeal. I find it very hard to put them in the same breath as Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, Rashee Rice, these wide receivers that we got left on the board. Rome, his teammate Worthy, Abuka, T. Higgins, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for the price you got to pay for him, I just make one of those other bets. Like, if I got Rashee Rice in the, let's say, like 6th-ish round, which doesn't happen. But let's just say that's what his price point was. He was closer to Jordan Addison or DK or Chris Olave, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Go ahead. All the Rashee Rice that you could fucking wish for. Take them all. I just don't want to clearly make that bet over some of these other guys with as much unknown that we have. And I've said for a while, there's 3 unknowns. There's a suspension, possibly. We don't know. Still have no fucking clarity on that. There's the recovery from the injury. By all accounts, it's going really well, and he looks great. But I've also heard those off-season stories about recoveries from knee injuries before. And then the last one, let's not undersell the emergence of what Xavier Worthy was doing there at the end of the season. Well into the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Like, that guy does have his own legitimate talent, right? Not just a fucking deep threat Mecole Hardman. He's a complete wide receiver. So I just don't know. I don't know. And that passing offense over the last couple of years just hasn't been that exciting. It just there's like something missing. So we don't even know if that's going to bounce back. So I'm good. And of course, fucking Shimmy's got to take Cam Ward. Like, I almost fell right into it.
Mike, I was literally between Cam Ward and Rome. I decided to go Rome. I can get into that, but that did feel like it burned you. And I know Mike really got sniped by Brock Purdy going 1 pick in front of him. We all know that.
I actually had Brock Purdy in Q, motherfucker.
I knew it. I really did know it.
I had Brock Purdy in Q.
All right, 412-501, Mike. Give the world a little POV of what the hell's going on under those glasses right now,
Yeah, this is a shitty pick here. Like, all these guys I don't really want to press a button on. Damn it. Adam, this is frustrating.
I do understand your frustration.
1, please don't suck again, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor, I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you.
I'm pleading with you. And you know what? Like, I want to take the production.
Okay.
But I kind of like the team build-up. Fuck. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go the production over the youth for one simple reason.
I'm kind of surprised. I know why, though. I do know why. Can I say why?
I want that stack. I want that stack. I was going to go a different quarterback. But here we are.
But here we are, nonetheless.
Yeah. All right, Dak. Dakota Rain. Get your shit together.
Dakota Rain. Well, Mike, I mean, we're only a year removed from Dak and CD both being ridiculous. So, yeah.
I actually did have Brock Purdy in fucking Q, though. not gonna lie. I
really
had 3
curious to see how
quarterbacks
these
in
picks,
my Q.
I'm really curious to see how these picks go because I'll talk about why I ended up doing what I did. Okay, Worthy comes off for Seth Dywald. By the way, Seth was really high on Rashi Rice too. Oh, super chat.
Let's go, Jay. God damn it, 10 by 10.
Hey, at least he's smart though. I'll give him credit. You know how you get these answered. You super chat them in, buddy. You make it known that you can't be skipped, right?
Yes. So he wants to know 10 by 10 Superflex, half tight end premium.
Okay.
JT and ETN or AJ Brown in the third.
Ooh, where are you at on this, Mike?
ETN isn't very sexy, but I kind of like just throwing him on my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put in a 10 team, start 10. Can he even crack my starting lineup? Like, can he even be in a flex? And you know the third ain't worth shit. No one cares.
No one cares.
Production difference between JT and AJ Brown. I think I lean AJ Brown for the wide receiver purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I actually don't mind it. If you got enough roster spots, I think I'll take JT and ETN. I'll take the 2 running backs.
I think I'm with the running backs too, Mike.
I think I'll take 2 running backs. Yep. God, I really don't give a shit about that third.
Man, I was so tempted to do something different, but Penix allows me still, Mike, to stay true to the whole idea of what I'm trying to do, which is stay flexible still, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I ended up going Michael Penix.
Fair and valid.
Then Bucky Irving comes off at the 506. Mike, I'm curious, actually, real quick. Let me just answer the super chat. I think the JT and the ETN. I'm not gonna fight you if you took the other side. I think it's pretty close, but honestly, in a start 10, Mike, I care about running backs a lot more because I don't care about quarterbacks as much. And I think JT has really high upside this year, personally.
We'll see if Michael Talbot's still paying attention. His pick is up.
Your pick is up. Give me Goff.
He wants Goff. Look at this guy, man.
Mike, so here's the thing. I was going to take Goff. I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, man? It just doesn't make sense with my build so far to lock into Goff just yet. So, but I do respect the pick. Jared Goff it is, buddy. The world is yours. All right, Barry.
Yours.
Do your worst.
It's like a very, very DB-like team right here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now, Mike, I was going to ask you, relative for the running backs at this point, what do you think so far about where they're going and who's coming off the board, like the field relative to all the players and then the order in which the running backs are coming off? How do you feel about it so far?
Well, you're definitely seeing that 2024 bump, aren't you?
I was gonna. Right? That was the one thing I was definitely seeing 100%. Like, damn, dude, we're really we're doing this thing, huh?
We do this draft this time last year, right?
Me and you were going crazy. What are we doing?
You might get a running back or 2 in the first couple of rounds. Now you're getting multiple, and you're getting, I don't know how many we're up to now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 running backs before round 6. See that bump?
See that
bump? See that running back bump? I'm very much of the opinion that last year was kind of an outlier for running back production. But listen, it could happen again. It really could. It really could. We like to say the NFL wants to adapt, and my opinion on the running backs is last year was the response to all the too high safety and all the zone coverage. And now we're just going to run it down your fucking throat, and you saw the running backs have a resurgence.
Sure.
I think defenses will switch back to a little bit more of that hybrid defense, you know? More single high will be in the mix. More man looks will be in the mix. And if they do it, then the offense's counterpoint to that is what? Back to what we saw 2-3 years ago. Right. We saw a lot more deep passes, a lot more shot plays, right? A lot more just throwing of the football, right? And running backs kind of becoming an afterthought. But I don't know, sometimes it takes a couple of years. So, you know, people taking running backs this early still could profit. Yeah,
I think though, I like a lot of what you said there. I think one of the things that I've been thinking about more this offseason as we think about the situations, like the running backs switching teams, I think, Mike, it basically got to the point where the entire NFL was almost like boycotting and devaluing the position in a way, right?
And like how Pello sneaks in Tyler Warren too. I fucking knew it.
Damn it, Pello. Honestly, that really hurt, Mike. That was 100%.
Mecca Buka.
That was my one of one in the queue right there. I got other people in mind now, but that one hurt, I will admit. Does hurt.
And Bryce. I'm surprised Bryce went this far down, to be honest, because that was the other guy I was considering over Dak. If it wasn't for Dak, I was taking Bryce.
Yeah, I think, Mike, at this point, with the bet on Wilson and the fact that I think Fields at least gets the year, I think I'm going to go ahead and lock that in.
Justin Fields.
He's a 7th round, I think, ADP-wise, but let's call it what it is. This is not a standard ADP. I'm drafting with the shitheads. I know what the sitch is.
You know what's up.
All right. We got a super chat from Castle Black. I'll allow it. Since I tuned in late, can you tell me what is happening that both of you guys started 3 wide receivers over any quarterbacks? I love.
So, Adam, this came back to last week when we did our guys and we really took a deep dive into ADP and startups.
Yeah.
And I kind of noticed a trend. We talked about it a little bit with J.J. McCarthy. But with some of those other quarterbacks, we started listening to some of the other rounds, and I was like, there is a shit ton of quarterback value the farther down the board you get. Right. And the wide receivers tend to run out pretty fucking early on the guys that I get pretty excited about. So I don't know about you, but that was kind of my plan coming in, especially if I'm picking at the back. It's like, why do I got to chase quarterbacks early? Because I'm going to be just as happy with T-Law, Dak, Bryce Young, Fields, Penix. You know, even a Goff or a Purdy, Cam Ward potentially because he gets disrespected. So yeah, I think that was at least me. Like, let me just hammer the shit out of wide receivers early because I think I can get some nice quarterback values a little bit later.
No, I think there's. I like what you said. How you phrase that. I think for me too, the combination of if I'm not in the first 5 picks, right? The back half of the draft especially anymore, I think what you just said is definitely the case, but also knowing who I'm drafting with a lot of shitheads that where me and you, Mike, talk a lot, and we are definitely in on this. We do believe quarterback value should be higher across the board, but it's also like, all right, even then, Mike, this is what's kind of crazy. I was envisioning at this 608 that I might not even be able to get Fields, and I was kind of okay with it because I could punt. But I knew that the quarterbacks were going to go up the board a little bit higher, which made me say, okay, that means I can probably get 3 to 4 receivers I really like and then live with the results after that. So, by the way, A-Rich going at the 6-12 with you and Tyreek Hill. Talk to the people about your selections here.
Well, when you start wide receiver heavy, you do feel like you got to do a little bit of chasing at the quarterback position to kind of make up for it, right? Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence not coming off the greatest year. You expect better with Travis Hunter in town and a Liam Cohen offense. So that was the first one. Dak to stack with CeeDee Lamb. We know Dak's always criminally underrated. For fantasy purposes, he's fun to make fun of in the NFL because he plays for the Cowboys and he throws picks. But for fantasy purposes, you know Dak can fucking put up fantasy points. Like, everybody likes Goff. Everybody likes, Purdy. Everybody likes Baker, for example. Dak can do it better than all of them, right, in that offense. So the other one is we're also talking about 2 guys that ain't the most secure, right, if they falter again, and neither is Anthony Richardson. But what I do know about Anthony Richardson is if I'm right about A-Rich having a bounce back when he plays and is healthy and Steichen isn't fucking with him, that guy can be a top 3 quarterback weekly just because of that rushing production. So gives me another quarterback option to throw in. And then Tyreek Hill, we disrespect him because of the age, and last year with the what was it, fractured wrist, or that torn ligament in his wrist, whatever it was. Tua with a concussion, that whole Dolphins offense was just out of sync. Listen, in the fucking 7th round, though, Tyreek Hill as my flex wide receiver on a team that I drafted Dak, so I'm kind of signaling, hey, I knew I got youthful wide receivers, but I'm also trying to compete here. I want Tyreek Hill in my fucking lineup as my wide receiver 4.
Yeah, I end up so Mike, I take Fields at the 608, and as I get later into the 6th, 7th, 8th round, that flexibility that I had earlier, as long as I feel like my team has a chance to compete, not necessarily locked into competing, but a chance to, I'll start taking on the age here. And
I like the Christian McCaffrey pick
honestly,
a lot.
Christian
I thought about him a
McCaffrey,
lot.
705, I felt like my hand was a little bit forced, which doesn't necessarily feel great with Christian McCaffrey, but I'm like, dude, I can't let him fall any past this, in my opinion.
No, I'm very okay with that. That was a great pick. I really thought about him there in the 6th.
Because honestly, so here's the thing, right? In a start 11 like this, you can start more receivers, and like DJ Moore was definitely someone I was considering pressing the button. J-Cap snipes me. Way to go, J-Cap. Congratulations. But Mike, after that point, it's like, all right, another flex receiver, or give me a chance that if he can stay healthy, I know it's a humongous if, he could be massive for my team. So I'll take the shot. I'll take the risk.
What we got from Michael Talbot here?
By the way, Michael, you are up. Michael, talk to me.
Gino.
I love what I just heard. And I know Koopa loves what he just heard or hates what he just heard all at once.
So I did see the Trip Crown comment about you don't have to take AR at the 612 though. This is know your league, Adam. Know your fucking league. You started Penix and Fields. You considering in the 7th round on the way back Anthony Richardson? Because the answer is fucking yes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was, and I'll tell you this, Mike. Sometimes it's also, yes, you're taking him at the 612 or the 701. When you're drafting him in the turn, one of the things you got to consider is he going to make it back to me at the 812? Like, do I really want him? And I can promise you, Mike, at the 808, he wasn't going past that point, right? If somehow,
besides you, who shares a lot of the same beliefs, and I know what you fucking believe into and how we similarly value players.
Sure.
Team 4, Michael Talbot didn't have a second quarterback. Ended up taking Jim, right? Koopa Troopa has a win-now build. Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Jonathan Taylor. Koopa also needs a Superflex quarterback in a start 11. Like, there's no fucking way I was getting through a full round on the way and then another round on the way back and landing Anthony Richardson at the 812.
Yeah. Also, no, for sure. I get that. Also, I think a good point here by Theo. Yeah, I mean, listen, that Tua pick was he was in consideration for me. I felt like the starting potential of some of the guys that I still had made sense to go ahead and forego Tua, but quarterback 3 in the 7th round of Tua is certainly within an easy pick. Because this is, by the way, very subtle difference, but this is 2 quarterback. That's one of the things that it's set up to do.
And welcome to the just the realm now of no real exciting quarterbacks left on the board.
Yeah, we're at that point.
We have reached that point.
I'm not saying you can't draft them, but how excited are you for the Sammy Darnolds, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
Yep.
All right, Mike. So Kenneth Walker. Then we got Golden, and now Team 4. Where are you at, buddy? He said he lost the tab. I gave him the new link, or the same link.
I got to say, though, Kenneth Walker in the 8th round is...
Mike had McCaffrey and DJ Moore both been gone.
That's fucking
he was going to be probably my 705 pick.
He wants Ricky Pearsall.
Okay, Ricky P.
Damn. Pello. Kenneth Walker at the 8th round.
Pello, that's a nice way to make sure. By the way, Pello got both Ty Warren and Loveland, Mike. I don't know if you saw that. That's
yeah, I did.
Wow.
I mean, he should have flipped him around.
Holy crap. Mike would be
can't do everything right.
Mike would be singing your praises if Tyler Warren was your 7-11 pick, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been one for the ages. All right, Mike. Dookie's on the clock. His team with Hurts, Stroud early with McBride. Gets 3 running backs in the mid. I like those. Waddle and Olave. How you feeling about his team right now?
The Hurts pick was great. The Stroud pick was great. A lot of running backs. And then pretty weak at wide receiver.
Yeah. How do you feel about rounding it out with, Waddle, Olave? If you were going that route, do you like those guys, or would you have went different directions?
Incomplete, because we still got some more rounds to go. So
fair
we'll
enough.
See what else we get for wide receiver value. Right?
That's a fair
if you
enough.
don't round out your wide receiver room pretty solidly here with some good choices.
Yeah, I get you. No need to give it away. All right, fair enough.
Yep. The other detriment of taking tight ends so early, even though it is Trey McBride and he's good and it's 1.75, I get all the arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Is those teams that end up waiting on tight ends in this format too.
Mm-hmm.
Like their rosters usually look a lot better top to bottom because they don't have those picks in there.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead here, Mike, especially with, a little uncertainty at my quarterback spot. I'm going to take Matt Stafford. Don't love it. Don't love it, but let me go ahead and now, if I'm going to lean into trying to compete, let me get some Matt Stafford in here. Go ahead.
Hey, I didn't have to take A. Rich at the 6-12. Fucking
Yeah, he would have been gone there. I can tell you. I can assure you.
Yeah.
Especially also, another thing to keep in mind, right? With 2 quarterback, Mike, in Superflex, to be honest with you, I might have been a little bit more willing to let, my quarterback 3 fall a couple rounds. But 2 quarterbacks, injuries, bye weeks, like I want to have at least another quarterback that I can rely on if I can.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you, man. Gonna need it. You don't want to start an absolute 0 in there in a fucking lineup league. That sucks.
Man, listen, if Koopa tells me it was a good pick, I believe him. All right, I'll take it.
Shit's running out quick. Sun's getting real low, big guy.
We'll see how many people still believe in this whole Mike, and that's part of the JSN tiebreaker too. Like Sam Darnold, I know JSN's the only show in town, but Sam Darnold outside of the Minnesota offense is a little bit it's a little iffy for me. I think JSN's still good enough. I'm not saying JSN's still not going to shine, but I'm worried about Sam Darnold if I'm being just honest in general about the quarterback situation.
I don't blame you at all, man.
What do you think here? Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins coming off in front of you.
Too bad. I'm thinking about who the fuck I'm taking here. That's what I'm taking.
Yeah, we're getting deep in the queue.
We are. All right. I'm going to break a rule here. You did put a Dice tight end premium on there.
Okay.
Right? I've been eyeballing Hawkinson, but Coop took him, so going with my next best thing.
Mark Andrews. I love it.
And now, man, I'm gonna do some reaching. I think do a little reaching. Calvin Ridley.
Whoa, we are reaching for some Ridley. Okay. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, again, when you're drafting in the corners, do you think he was going to make it to the 10-12? I can tell you he probably doesn't make it past the 10-08. So there's that.
Tough deal, man. I'm good. The Mark Andrews thing, I wanted to bring him up last week when we were talking about Hawkinson and some of those other tight end values that we had.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the likely thing being pushed up so high. Maybe it's the real bad taste that we had in our mouths from him, losing Baltimore that playoff game. Like, you remember the fake Pornhub video?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tight end fucks the whole city of Baltimore or whatever that was. Maybe that's it. But towards the end of the season, man, go look at Mark Andrews' splits. Like, once he started to recover, which is now 2 years in a row now, we've seen somebody with that ankle fracture who has that tightrope surgery on a hip drop tackle the year before. Take a good half a season, 3/4 of a season to start to look like them old self. But when they start to look like their old self, God, Tony Pollard, Mark Andrews last year, they were producing. Mark Andrews was putting up fucking points last year towards the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really believe Bowers, Trey McBride, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle are my real solid. I got to put money on who's going to be tight end 1. It's going to be one of those, but I'm kind of willing to put a little down on Mark Andrews on a rebound.
All right, Mike. We're gonna go. We're gonna get Vetty, real Vetty at the running back.
I forgot that, Pello. I forgot he was in that bad car accident too before the season started. You are right.
Yeah, but and the hip drop tackle injuries they suck, man. That's brutal.
Yeah, those hip drop tackles are fucking stupid.
But that is a good call, Pello. I'm not to take away from the point. It's a good call.
Yeah, but we saw that with Tony Pollard. I got to experience as a Hawk fan with Luke Lachey 2 years ago, and it took him a while this past season to start to look like himself. So
let me introduce you to my friend. Says his Pitt's dead. Bump coming. I love Crip Crown here. Dead. Damn it, Trip. Well played.
If we got Fizz in this draft, he would have took him round 5.
I was about to say, Trip. There's one person though. And my guy Fizz he'll make sure.
I think he's had like the Kyle Pitts breakout season loading every year for the last like 3. It's coming.
Crispy, who's that Raptor guy?
Yeah, I don't know. He's okay. He's aight.
Who's Nicholas Nelson says, just jumping in to say thanks for the elite fantasy content. Ask if either of you have a team name Warp Speed or any other Warp puns.
No, now you're thinking. You could have that.
I kind of like
I got a T-shirt
where your
that
head's
says
at.
Warp is life.
I was about to say, I like where your head's at. The branding could even level up further. Ooh, Chris Godwin comes off the board. Mike, let me ask you, let's talk about this 9th round as a matter of fact.
See, this is what I was talking about with Dookie, though. You need to do a good job of solidifying that weak wide receiver room that he had. And he's doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it.
I'm going to shrink
Time
us
to
down
move
here
up.
and put us up. Yeah, you know what I mean? Why not?
We're moving on up to
Move
a
up,
deluxe
buddy.
apartment in the sky.
We're going to get weird, but we're going to do it. All right. And that's my fault, by the way. So I apologize. Who am I setting for this pick? Mistakes were made. Shuck. Okay, Tyler Shuck is the play. All right. Tyler Shuck. Sorry about that. DB, you're up. I was worried about making sure you guys could see everybody.
He wants to shuck.
Wants to shuck it. All right. Oh, DB with Evan Ingram pick. I don't mind it at all. Damn it, Pello. Why? I think, Mike, we did this in the wrong order, talking about the startup values and then doing a mock draft, you know? I think you're mute.
Yeah, I was. But
Okay.
it proves a lot of like what I was saying about tight ends, right? Even in a decent tight end premium,
Yeah.
look Bowers and McBride go, and then you don't get shit for a couple rounds. And like everybody who's taking a tight end now, you're like, I kind of like that pick where he went. Like,
Yeah.
you're doing all right, right?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
don't chase the tight ends. Just don't, right? If you got to take Bowers in the first or McBride in the second, just pass and then take some other tight ends later. That's all you need to do. Take some other ones. Let everybody else make the decision.
Bruh, I don't mind what Koopa just did right there, right? Grabbing whatever you think of him at this point, grabbing 2 potential guys that could start.
Two great backups. Good job.
Yep. You got. I mean, if you have only J-Day, I mean, you got to do something. I mean, I don't know how much. But Darnold, Mike, here's the question: how long do you think Darnold actually gets this year if he's not playing well?
If he's not playing well,
yeah, that's
Like,
that's
if
my
he's-
biggest question about this season for him.
like what level of not playing well? Like what do we? Give me like Kirk Cousins with Atlanta last year, not playing well.
Not quite that extreme, but yeah, in that range. Let's use in that range, sure. Not quite that extreme, but close.
Oh man, if that is the case, right, with the McDonald connection with the Baltimore thing, and what happened when they took Lamar, but they already had a proven starter in front of them. To week 10, week 11,
Yeah,
like just in time to fuck you for the fantasy playoffs. You know what I mean?
no, I'm with you. Now, granted, this is we're talking about if he plays poorly. Like this is him playing pretty damn bad. But I'm kind of with you. I think it's not a sure bet that he gets the whole year if he plays like complete
James
shit.
Conner is who Michael Talbot would like here.
And you bastard. Because that was going to be my pick. But well
Oh
done.
Jesus, this is great. Milrow ain't even the backup. Okay.
Who is?
That's to Drew Lock, who couldn't beat out Daniel Jones last year. I guess. There you go.
I mean, yeah, Koopa, that's also a fair point. I mean, what'd you say, Mike, around 11, week 14, even if he sucks? Somewhere in that range. I can get behind it.
But just in time to fuck you for the fantasy playoffs.
That would be actually literally just in time, right? Now, granted, you always have time to make another move there, but okay, Shadur Sanders coming off at 10:05.
Yeah. It is. Hate to tell you. It's not fucking Drew Lock. And it's not Drew Lock what he wants to do in that Ravens offense. Just not.
Wow,
Yeah,
Soggy.
we good. We
Soggy?
good, man.
You piece of shit, Soggy. There's one Brown I hope to get, at this point. And, no.
David Njoku.
Damn it.
Can't get him.
Why?
We go like another 7-8 rounds. You could get Harold Fannin.
I was going to say, then I could get, I don't even know if damn it. I don't want anything now. I don't want anything now. All right, so.
Come on, Adam. Do me proud.
All right. I don't know that I can. Wow. Fuck it.
Do me proud.
Fuck it.
Oh, okay. I love it too. Fuck Scoop it.
Fuck it. 2 quarterback when they get one more.
Unless he believes in Drew Lock. Didn't know we'd be talking about Drew Lock so much tonight, but here we are.
Mike, I don't even honestly. I'll tell you this: I don't actually expect Jalen Milroe to play all his first year personally, but if he does, I think there's a very good chance he does. But I do think that if he is put on the field at some point, if that comes about, I'm playing him in those weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost just putting him in my lineup.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my mortgage on the Seahawks. Don't draft a quarterback next year. Trip Crown, round 1. Ain't happening.
But I mean, I'm in the 10th round here. I'm taking the shot. Really more so. All the other stuff I can't necessarily predict personally. I'm not going to try to, but it's a guy that whether he's good or not is a high upside rusher in the 10th round. That's the reason I'm doing it in 2 quarterback.
That Travis Etienne one hurts. Shimmy. And the Khalil Shakir. God damn it, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's doing me dirty here.
He was one I was looking at. No doubt, no question about it.
All right, fuck it, Adam.
Yeah, that was who I was considering as well. I knew you were going to take him if I didn't take him, but it's okay.
We doing all right.
Look at that Tennessee stack. Calvin Ridley,
Damn.
Tony Pollard.
Fuck it.
Aaron Jones, I like it.
Just those value running backs. I think I talked about this draft strategy last week. It's weird. It's weird. Fuck those running backs till the 10th round. You'll be all right.
Juwan Jennings, nice pick. Start 11, Mike, I'll tell you this. Start 11 with Khalil Shakir and Jennings. Those are the type of players that, like, start 9. I'm not saying you can't play them, but the difference in start 9 and start 11 with a player like Shakir and Jennings to me is quite a bit, honestly.
Yeah.
Sliding them in your, flex 5.
Yeah. You're doing all right.
We got 3 flex spots, but, I just look at it with 3 receivers and 3 flexes. You can start 6 receivers on every week. That's a lot. All right, there goes Kelsey. And Rodgers. All right, Mike. I'm going to hold off, I think.
Passing on it again?
I think so.
All right.
I'm going to, at this point, Mike, this is not a guy I normally like to take at this point. Or I've not been targeting him this year in startups personally. But when he gets to this point, I'm kind of willing to live with the boom bust. It's not someone I would imagine fall quite this far. So I'm going to take Jaden Reed. And there are plenty of weeks he's going to completely bone you. Just keep putting him in your lineup for what weeks he pops off. That's what I'm going to do at the 11th round.
But Jaden Reed as your wide receiver 5 feels a lot better than Jaden Reed as your wide receiver 2.
2, sure. Yeah, when you're taking him in – last year was round 6 or round 7 you had to get him, much different.
Yeah. And then after that, 40-point game early in the season, you saw those trades. Shane Joe.
Yikes.
I don't want to call you out, man.
By the way, Tucker – it was between one of the Packers, Mike. I was going to go with Tucker Kraft as well, but I decided to wait on the tight end one more round.
At this point – Tucker Kraft or Kyle Pitts, do you really give a shit between the two?
Not really. I probably lean Kraft, but I really don't know.
I saw both of them sitting there in queue, and I was like, if I didn't have Mark Andrews, I wouldn't mind having one of you guys as my tight end 1. Fuck it, I'll live with it.
Yep. Somebody put it in the chat. Tyrone Tracy.
Thought about him too.
Yeah, definitely in the queue for myself.
Yep.
All right, Mike, we got coming up on round 12. It's the last we're going to do of the mock here. But it's been a good one. And Mike, I timed it up not bad, especially with all the stuff going on with Team 4. we're still gonna be right at an hour, so we're good, man. I love this.
We're still cooking.
Yeah. Pittman, your guy Pittman. Mike, talk about a fall, huh? We talked about this on the trade show.
Yep.
To see Pittman go in the 11th round, wow.
Theft. Thank you, DB.
Well done there, DB.
If I didn't need, now looking back on it, I would have rather taken Pittman over Pollard or Aaron Jones. Fuck it. Team build be damned. I'll figure out running back later.
Can I tell you the crazy part, Mike? He was buried off in that queue worse than I would have expected, to be honest. I hadn't noticed him down there.
He got the Trevor Etienne treatment.
I think so.
He's so fucked down in the queue, you forget about him.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I really didn't see him down there.
Yeah,
can't even stop.
That was a good catch. Good catch.
Well done, DB.
Nice.
Mike, how you feeling about your team? Talk to the peeps.
I'd be very happy if this was a real league.
Yeah, same.
Very, very happy.
I think your team's well built.
I like yours too. We kind of built the same. Few differences, obviously, but I fucking love this strategy in, outside of most like diehard super shit leagues where it's everything gets fucking crazy or you got nutso scoring and that kind of shit. But
right,
a lot of these vanilla dynasty startups, also to DB's point, they're kind of fucking boring, right? I don't want to sound conceited, but a snake startup is almost too fucking easy anymore. Like it's just whatever. But I love the fucking strategy of just I really don't worry about tight ends and running backs until later. Like just don't give a shit. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, fill that part of your team first. Have yourself a nice foundation and a base. And then see how the board falls. And if the board falls where you can get some value running backs, you can get a value tight end, something like that, you can push yourself a little bit more towards that win now. You can push yourself towards, like, I'm trying to compete this year, but I'm doing it with value.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to give up future first to do it. I didn't have to go chase elite running backs. I didn't have to do any of this shit. I got a nice wide receiver core. I'm solid enough at quarterback. Boom. And I'll figure the rest out as I go.
I love what Pello just did. He says, pick for the laughs. I love that. He just did it just because everyone kept talking about him. By the way, Koopa, I should have been a little bit more thought. Taking Jacoby Myers might have stole my heart there, Mike. Like, he was what I was hoping to. I was going to just say fuck the tight end.
Samuel there. That's a nice pick too.
I know. He also said, well, I like that, stacking that with Jaden Daniels, right? He says, hitching my ride to the Washington pass attack.
Hey, I don't mind it.
So, okay, Shaheed. Wow.
Okay. A little spicy on that one. But it's not the 12th round.
It's not crazy, but it is a little spicy. I agree.
Hey, where's this keep trade cut Isaiah Likely tight end 10 shit that we keep hearing about?
Mike, he won't be. I'll tell you this. I'll draft a skill player and have no tight end on my fucking board before I do that.
Before
you can bet your bottom dollar.
How many fucking tight ends got to go before you take Isaiah Likely? We need another 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, at least 7. I mean, at least. There's a couple. Damn it.
Scattaboo.
Everybody in the chat, right, has to just...
Stephon Diggs.
Someone saying no Scatabo's a crime, and of course he goes next pick.
Of course he goes. Supposed to shut up.
It's the house of learned doctors. Stephon Diggs off the board. Theo is on the clock.
Hey.
Yeah, it does start to feel a little much grosser as we get into this round here, for sure.
It does.
Without question.
Mooney?
Darnell Mooney. Okay.
Ooh. This is good, though. We featured Dookie. All right?
All right.
I like the Sanders pick. Cam Scatabo is okay. The one thing I will recommend, though, right, when you got this kind of build, I told you got to keep hammering wide receivers. As much as I like Kyle Williams, as much as I do, the draft capital is still 3rd round. It's still a rookie. I'm doing anything but taking a Kyle Williams there, like that type of archetype of player, right? And I'm not saying that his type of wide receiver. I mean, like, rookies, they rarely help you to fantasy championships. You know what I mean? Like, it's the outlier rookies who do it, right?
Yeah.
It's the Malik Neighbors seasons,
in
Jamar Chases, the
in
Justin
particular
Jeffersons.
that you're drafting this later on in the draft too, for sure.
Yes. I'm taking a vet there over a rookie. Like, I get there's upside and he's got potential because he could be the number one wide receiver on that team, by the end of the year. But really, what does that end of season production look like? Is it going to be that much better than Michael Pittman, Debo, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs?
Luke Lachey?
No. Look, for the memes.
Oh my gosh.
Kyle Pitts.
And there goes Pitts.
Luke Lachey before Kyle Pitts. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Mike, Luke Lachey, arguably tight end 1 on that team of Shimmy's too? Over Kelsey?
Nailed it.
Mike, you're up last pick.
Yeah.
Just one to finish us.
We're thinking hard. All right, you know what? I got you, Adam. Might as well just round this out.
Do it. Cooper Kupp.
Coop. You said you could start 6 wide receivers. God damn it, I'm going to start 6 wide receivers.
Cooper Kupp's in there. Yeah.
I'm starting 6 wide receivers.
I like it. I really do. All right, Mike, we're in the books. We're finished. It's complete.
Done.
As you look through it.
Got some 12 round.
And by the way,
memes.
everybody in the chat, I want to hear all your thoughts on this before we get the questions. So we'll do a couple minutes, talk about the teams, and we'll get the questions, and we'll bounce out of here, Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to Dookie because he even responded in there. Said not
Okay.
my typical build, just trying something. Appreciate the feedback. You did a great job. Other than that Kyle Williams thing, like, I loved what you did here. Other than the Trey McBride, I caution people against doing that shit. When you see where the rest of the tight ends went, you're like, fuck. Like, if you ended up with Jalen Hurts, Nico Collins, C.J. Stroud, and the rest of this team, and then replace Kyle Williams with Stephon Diggs, chef's kiss, man. Killed it. Nailed it. Who gives a fuck? Right? Or even took a tight end at that spot. Like, maybe it was Kyle Pitts instead of Kyle Williams. Like, your team looks infinitely better.
Sure.
Like, that'd be a clear smash. All right, Pello talk quickly on him.
Okay.
He did a great job other than Tyler Warren. Okay. Great job. Kenneth Walker in the 8th was fucking stupid. He also took Swift, another guy we talked about. Yep. Dalton Kincaid was unnecessary. And then we know the meme pick of Drew Lock is whatever. I know that's not real.
Yeah. We know that's Fugazi. Honestly, Mike, I kind of like given how he drafted those 2 tight ends in a row. I actually don't mind how it turned out. Now, I probably wouldn't have like layered into it or leaned into it with Dalton Kincaid, but
yeah, fuck that.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight that too much, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see who else you want to talk about.
Kind of looking at some other ones that are standing out to me. Obviously, I like your team, Adam. Don't got a lot of issues with it. I mean, nobody did a terrible job. Every one of these is pretty decent.
I was gonna say,
if this is a real fucking league, and hypothetically, we have seen dynasty startups where there's no fucking trading. Like, everybody just gets pat.
Yeah, honestly, nowadays sometimes it really does happen. Like, once you get to like round 4 and there's no trades, you just see it just be a fucking everyone's drafting.
But if this was a real fucking startup right now, you come out of this one going like, shit, I don't know who's winning this fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
Which, the strategy aspect of it, if I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, anybody want to buy Dak Prescott or Trevor Lawrence or Anthony Richardson, Mark Andrews, Calvin Ridley, Tyreek Hill, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones? Like, I'll be the one to wave the white flag. I want to be that first guy to be like, fuck it. Like, nobody chose to rebuild. There's not any like super youthful teams that are just overloaded on rookies. Everybody kind of has a nice build where they're walking that fine line of dynasty value versus competing. The strategy aspect is like, I want to be the first guy to go, fuck it, I'm out. I'm out. Who wants to sell picks, boys? Who wants to sell them? Right? It's kind of how you did it in the OG shit auction best ball league.
Yeah.
You were the only show in town, and you somehow convinced 11 other people that they're all competitors.
Yep.
And now we see how that league's going, 4 years into the fucking thing. We're all playing catch up from Adam's like super team because he owned like the first round for 2 years.
Well, it's interesting because, Mike, the thing about it is what you were saying. You're basically like, listen, I want to be different. One of the things I think is kind of interesting in general with fantasy and dynasty in particular, we're talking about, right, where, people like look at, I don't want to do this, or I don't like this about your team. And I can understand all those points, but a lot of times the reason I'll have that going on with the team I actually have in a real league or in a mock, like I kind of want to be different. I want to differentiate myself from the rest of the league. And if it doesn't pan out, I'll go into my contingency plan. Maybe the contingency plan isn't going to be the best out there, but to your point, if I'm looking at everybody saying, hey, I think I can contend, if you can be the one that starts collecting picks, you're creating your own market, right? You create your own market. A lot of times someone else will go into the buying picks with you. But if you're ever the only person in a build, you can start to create a monopoly, Mike. You're the one that dictates what the price is, right? You're the one that's dictating what that's going to look like. And, it just so happens to benefit you that it's impossible for 11 teams to compete and compete well.
Put that last Trip Crown comment up there. Well, the second to last now, but the game theory one.
I like the game theory of not competing year one.
So one of the few times tonight I'm going to agree with Trip. Okay, but he's right, and I think we've talked about this a few times. You're never going to have more parity in a league, a dynasty league, anyways. Redrafts, you got parity every fucking year, but you're never going to have more parity in a dynasty league than that first year right out of a startup. Because everybody is on equal footing when you go into it. As the Dynasty League progresses, the haves and the have-nots become readily fucking apparent. You're going to have 2 or 3 teams, maybe 4 teams that are like, God, these guys got squads. They got squads. And you're going to look at your league and you're going to look at 2 or 3 teams that you're like, what the fuck was this guy doing? What the hell happened to him? But that only happens like right after. The first year is always like, you might have one team rebuilding. You might have one team that thinks they're a super team or that we really like, but you're going to see like on the lab how that keep trade cut score between them is all like, dude, we're like separated by like 400 points from 1st to 7th. You know what I mean? And when you get those wide open fields, there's a lot of parity in it. And especially in lineup leagues. Like we can usually tell a difference in best ball leagues, right? The lab won't always tell you the truth because it ranks it off starter rank.
Yeah.
But you look at it like a good best ball team and you're like, you start to go to their bench and you're like, man, how the fuck this guy end up with like Terry McLaurin as his wide receiver 5? You know what I mean? How's he get him as his wide receiver 6? Oh shit, look at his RB 4 and 5. Look at his QB 4. Like you see those deep best ball teams, there's still more parity right out of a startup, but best ball you can differentiate yourself by having a shit ton of depth. Lineup, not so much. Lineup becomes even more of the Wild West right out of a startup. So
for sure, I think
there is something to the game theory of like you're probably more beneficial punting in a startup almost every single time, as long as you think the league is going to last.
So here you go. Yes, what you just said there. There's like a couple different layers of it to me. That part there is what makes the percentages problematic. Because if, Mike, I've been in enough leagues. I'm not going to call any names out or any of the where I put in 2 years of rebuilding and then I'm not in the league anymore. What? That's not fun in Dynasty. Like if you're going to be in a league where you think there's a chance in 3 years or you're not sure. That, I think, is what becomes problematic. Whether the league's nuked or you're basically not allowed to be in the league anymore or whatever, right? You get kicked out of the league. That changes the dynamic. Now, in the world that I've tried to play in, even there, Mike, I try to just play the game of Dynasty like tried and true. And if that happens, it sucks. But then, Mike, this is what I prefer as well. What I'll say is sometimes a lot of the people I play with also have the same thinking. So, like, Mike and Trip Crown, right? Everybody else listening too. I've seen Koopa kind of saying the same thing. If it's a league where it's Mike, Koopa, myself, let's say Trip Crown, DB, let's say we all kind of have this same agreement here, right? All of a sudden, the problem is the pick value. It's basically every league, a startup, the dynamics in the league. There's a pendulum, right? It's a pendulum. Like I'm all about going to this year one, basically taking myself out of contention if the market really dictates and says, hey, we got a bunch of people trying to go win. But if everybody's also trying to rush to go get those picks, like there's been some leagues where it's like, you know what? The dynamic here and the price to go compete this year, I might actually do that. I think I try my best to let the dynamics of the league and the people in the league dictate that for me. But I'm in like generic sense, I think most people would prefer to win earlier than later, which does make this in game theory like one I tend to prefer, I will say.
You and I were both in a best ball league like when that first became a thing, right? Not one of the South Harmon leagues, but a different league that we were in. And I remember us having those conversations. We were both competing in that league. We both had very good squads. Like we went into it already kind of understanding that best ball was a different beast, and we had ideas about how to win a best ball league. You at the time had gone more stud approach heavy, and I was very much into the fucking just overwhelm them with depth and like try to get some Davis fucking Mills, off of waivers in a best ball, that kind of thing. Like, but you and I were having trade conversations in there, and just the way the league was shaken out, we were like, dude, we're both trying to compete in this league, but we can't buy shit for first. Like, we can't even like give these fucking things away. Everybody wanted to compete in the league. And how frustrating that was as two teams that were locked into competing, like wanting to trade them away. And you're like, damn, man, I wish I was in the mid. I wish I was riding the fucking fence right now because I could recognize this market discrepancy and I could sell off middling players that shouldn't be going for first, but because nobody wants to buy these fucking things, you just get them for free. So I think there is something to it where you kind of got to feel that league out, which is also why this mock that we got right here with everybody kind of being in a good spot, you can feel the league out. You can feel out what the market of this individual league is going to be. Does everybody want to try to compete? If so, then I want to be the first one to jump on the other side. Or maybe right after, as soon as this draft is over, you see a lot of trades go down with future first getting moved, and now you start to get that parity, and you're like, okay, fuck it. This might be my best chance to win right out of the startup, right? Like this might be the time for me to also try to leverage my future. Or it could be one of those questionable leagues where everybody plays it like fucking redraft dynasty, and you're like, this sumbitch ain't gonna make it past 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in me rebuilding because a lot of these guys are yahoos and probably gonna fucking orphan their teams right after this year, and this league's gonna fold. So feel it out right out of the startup. But
Trip Crown
starting in the mid right now isn't the worst spot.
Trip Crown says, as much as I love to troll, I swear I do know what I'm doing, and I learned a lot from y'all. Appreciate that, Trip. Appreciate everybody. And by the way, let's go ahead and give Fizzle a chance here before we get to questions. I've got a few starred, and we'll get up out of here, buddy. What do you think?
Boom. Let's do it, man. I always like that Fizzle intro.
Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Boom. We back.
We are back.
We're back.
Dookie, I like this too. My biggest takeaway from this combo is no matter what, you got to read the league and adjust and adapt. And I think he puts a question mark at the end. I think that's, to answer the question, if it's a question, yes. If it's a statement, I agree with it. Like, to me, I think a lot of it is reading it, for sure.
In most cases, Adam, right? Like, you're always going to preach a lot of the psychology behind Dynasty and the knowing your league. And yeah, you're 1,000% correct. But you also know that sometimes I like to be just an asshole and listen, everybody else wants to do this, right? And this is how the league market's going to shape out. And I have that opinion of, listen, I can make the league market whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
You also,
Which,
there's
which
the
is usually done through a
bend.
quarterback horn.
Mike tends to go, you know what? You know how I'm going to do this? You will bend the knee. He's very much, the Game of Thrones style.
You will
bend the
eventually.
knee,
You will eventually, yes. But yeah, it's usually beneficial to understand how that league dynamic's going to shake out. But I also saw some good comments in here too. One of the simplest things to ever do in a dynasty league is when everybody's zigging, you're the guy who's zagging, right?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
okay to be different. It's okay to be different. Just not like sometimes we see with we got to give our boy Rip a little bit of shit, right? He likes to zag a lot, but he does wild zags, like not cool zags. He takes guys in the first round that should be 7th round picks.
Extreme zags. Yeah, honestly though, but that plays into the dynamic of how now I'm gonna approach it as well. Like if he starts potentially making the needle move to like we're drafting redraft here, for God's sakes, I want picks and I want young players. Let's go.
Exactly.
Would you prefer Pacheco or Tracy, Mike, in a point per carry league?
I'm gonna go with Tracy, but I see the appeal of Pacheco. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I probably, Mike. Honestly, I'll answer the question as it's the same tier for me. I guess if you force my hand, I might pick Pacheco, but like I don't really have much of a I don't have a true strong lean one way or the other. Honestly,
I don't either. Like you can do whatever you wanted there. Pacheco was a really hot name right up until he fractured his fibula. You know what I mean? Like he had that hairline fracture.
Dude, the way it was set up with when like McKinnon's like role was gone and seeing him get the pass catching work in the second half of the year. I was getting so excited for Pacheco, and then of course the injury really fucked up. That sucked.
I mean, in all reality, he could be extremely undervalued. Like that is a range of outcomes, right?
Yep.
Fully healthy now, still with the Chiefs. We liked what we saw before the injury. After the injury, it was he's not doing as well as Kareem Hunt, but the guy fractured his fucking leg for fuck's sake. Like,
sure.
I mean, obviously, like we can give him a little bit of a pass. What if he does rebound? Even if he's 80-90% of what he was before that, right?
Yep.
As far as fantasy production goes, that's a hell of a thing. And we're in this mode right now in the off season where it's like, did you hear all the Brashard Smith hype? Like, that could be the guy, right? Like we're in that. And then we end up in like October and November, and it's Pacheco who's getting 70% of the touches and producing. You're like, why the fuck didn't we see this coming?
Well, that's what I was gonna. One of the dangerous parts about this time of year is that, like, I don't want to sit here and tell you that Brashard Smith definitely is not going to get any run, and we couldn't see him be a nice player, but there's too many 7th round, 6th round hype trains going on. Like
there is.
If you told me Brashard Smith ended up being one of the guys that threads the needle, fine. But they're not. All these 6th and 7th round picks are not going to end up being guys that we want to have, right?
I got one player for you, Darwin Thompson.
Oh, buddy, that was
same fucking team.
There was a lot of hype around him. Now, granted, the Chiefs. I will say the Chiefs seem to be the worst case of all because people are willing to put the player high up to the moon. As a matter of fact, Pacheco, 7th round pick, right? They had a whole bunch of hype train and steam and eventually did take over and have a nice role. But
there was somebody else too, like a UDFA that went there that was like a size speed freak besides Pacheco. Like we had a lot of misses and then you had Pacheco.
Right.
And we might be back on a lot of misses again. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to think of that fucking guy's name because I took him everywhere. Wasn't Darwin Thompson. I remember that one, but there was another one. Can't fucking think of his name though. It saved my life.
Harry Snowman wants to know, would you take Waddle, Hawk, and a 26 first from McBride in FFPC?
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. I'm making the same bet with Hawk.
Mainly because it's Hawk. I believe Hawk is the one tight end of the bunch in the middle rounds that I really want preferred.
You just told me Hawk and a 26 first for McBride. I'm taking it. Right? The Waddle's fucking free to me in this one.
I would say I'd probably take it regardless. I might ask, like, hey, how good do you feel about the first? But you put Waddle in the mix, I don't care about any of that at all. It doesn't matter. Like, this is a runaway, easy, in my opinion. There's no way I wouldn't take that side.
Yeah. Stop being here. Go to that site. Hit the fucking yes button already.
Hit that button. David Sharkey, what's going on, man? 12-team PPR, start 10, Superflex. Same rebuild team from last week. He's got 726 and 227 first. Would you give DJ Moore, Waddle, and JSN to get Igbuka a 26 first and second and a 27 first? Yeah. The DJ Moore part. Let me think.
No.
I was thinking, Mike, it's crazy because I'm going to tell you why it's crazy. There was on the BDGE side, I'm doing questions, and it was literally Waddle, JSN, and I was saying for Igbuka and 2 first. That's kind of where my brain went back to that combo. But you put DJ Moore in the mix, it's not enough because now it's only a second for DJ Moore.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, JSN for, let's just say Igbuka and one of those first. Okay?
I'm in.
Okay, like that's fair. Depending on the league format, start 10 like that. If I'm any relatively thinking that I want to try to compete, I might lean the JSN side, to be completely honest, because I don't know what Ibuka's production is going to be.
Sure.
To start 10, right?
Yep.
But let's just cancel that shit out. Pick one of those first in Ibuka and call it good for JSN.
Agreed.
Right? So then you're left with DJ Moore and Waddle for first and a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because however you break this down, right? I'm with you because you're either going to get left with a second for DJ Moore, a second for Waddle, or Mike. To me, I would not sell my JSN for Igbuka in a second, right? So no matter how you slice it, I think you're short. That second needs to become roughly a first in value. If we can do that, I think I can get behind the idea. Get younger, get Igbuka, fine. But I do think the value doesn't make sense. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm good on that one.
Yeah, just because I think in this start 10 format too, Mike, JSN, I want to get my full value out of JSN in this type of format. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Matt Denton said Damian Williams, question mark. I said it wasn't him.
No.
Wasn't him.
Although Mike did see some best ball wins because of Damian Williams.
God, fuck, I don't remember who this guy was now.
Mike, while you're looking up that, so if the league is taking running backs way ahead of ADP, everyone but me, I should go 0 RB or also reach for running backs? 0 RB.
0 RB. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, don't chase. Don't chase. Let everybody else do it.
Right. So basically what's going to end up happening, typically, if you're seeing that where everyone's taking them, and you put in parentheses, everyone but me, that means now that as the running backs are going earlier, people are feeling like they're not going to get theirs, right? So now they're kind of leaning into it. It's almost like that old saying, Mike, if everyone jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off too? You don't have to get a running back. Now, you do probably need running backs to win this year, but one of the easiest ways to probably have a productive struggle, honestly, 1 year rebuild, is to just not have running backs and figure out how to get them in the draft or, in that next offseason. So, yes, don't reach.
Yeah, I'm good. This is going to fucking kill me, man. I can't.
Your trade offer has been accepted.
Done deal.
Well, Harry, I'm happy for you. You hairy snowman, you. All right. Still can't find it?
No.
This one might be a deep dive.
It is. It's going to piss me off when I find it, too.
By the way, I wanted to make sure, D-Walk, I saw this, okay? He put it twice. I saw it the first time and the second time. Noah Fant's still available. Adam will draft him later. Because Coop said I was the only team that didn't draft tight end, and he was surprised by that. At a certain point, I just didn't like the tight ends that were left. All right, well, while Mike continues to look, this is, any other questions before we dip? Get a few in here, and we'll ride.
I'm going to fucking find it. They just need a listing of Chiefs UDFA signings by year.
There's got to be a way to find that, no?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Spencer Ware?
No, I remember Spencer Ware. He actually had some moments, too.
Yeah, he had that, man, remember the hype going in when, who got hurt? No matter of fact, no, never mind. I'm tripping. Spencer Ware got hurt, and then Kareem Hunt was like, yeah, okay, it's about to be a takeover.
Yep,
season.
It was going to be Spencer Ware's season.
Yeah, that's right. I had that. Yeah. I had that inverse. Yep.
God damn it. I can't find this to save my life.
What would you guys be looking for? What would you be looking to get? I'm sorry, for Allen in a 12-team start 12, or would you hold him? He has an offer of Dak and CD for Josh Allen. So, Mike, 12-team start 12, Superflex. Would you take Dak and CD for Josh Allen?
Start 12 would.
Dude, I was going to say
lean-
start 12 makes me like. I'll tell you that. Start 10, I probably don't take this.
No, start 11, start 10, start 9, no fucking chance.
Start
12,
I'd have to be at 11 to start considering it. 12, I think, Mike, I think 12, I might be willing to do this, dude. 12's a lot of starters, buddy.
Yeah. I would, first off, I would go to the Warp Tool, plug in the league scoring, and see how good Josh Allen is. The elite quarterbacks are relative, because we have seen in start 12, sometimes that quarterback line comes down quite a bit, right? And that wide receiver line can look really, really, really fucking good. And if that's the case, then yes. But maybe it's a 6-point passing touchdown. Maybe there's a point per carry, right? Something like that, Adam. Yeah. Josh Allen might be God, right? He might be God. And in that case, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I don't have the Warp Tool up, but that's how you get there, okay? Warp.life. Go check that out. I think that's 100% what I would do. Rec Basketball Championship tomorrow night. Any advice for the boy ATM? Well, Jake, here's what I'll say. Shooters, shoot. Let that thing fly, baby.
Just let her fly.
And if you're not a shooter, that's okay. Just play your role. Play your role. I got faith in you, buddy.
Man.
Rec Basketball Championship tomorrow night? Man, yeah. It's time to hit every shot.
I don't know who the fuck
those are the old days, man. I feel so old now.
I feel like I'm just making shit up. Like this guy doesn't exist.
Mike, now you're in that head spot where you were so convinced this guy had existed, and he still probably does. But now you're like, wait a minute, did I fucking?
You know what?
You can't find it.
I'm gonna fucking rack my brain tomorrow at work. I'm not gonna do actual work. Hopefully nobody from work's listening. Searching for this fucking Chiefs running back. God damn it.
Wait a minute, Matt. I promise I'm gonna get back to your question. Is the certified shit link in the Discord? I'm not sure if it is. However,
it's in.
It doesn't. It's just here. It's just certified shit. Just don't forget to dot the I. But I'll put it. I will tell you this. I'll put it in the Discord and I'll pin it in the channels. Certified sh.it. All you do is type that into your browser and you're there in an instant. By the way, Jake, I'm with this too. Make sure you got what you're comfortable with. Look good, feel good, play good. Absolutely for championship day. Oh, JDC. My first dynasty draft is coming up. I love hearing you getting in. You're dipping them feet in. Let's dive in, buddy. Why are quarterbacks so valuable compared to standard drafts? So make sure you know your settings here, JDC. When we're talking about all these, we're talking Superflex. So make sure, or 2 quarterback, which this last draft was. Make sure you check. There's dynasty leagues that are 1 quarterback. Mike and I, we get those questions and we like to make fun of it. But don't start drafting what you see on that if you're in a 1 quarterback league. Make sure you check your settings. Superflex, 2 quarterback. And if the answer is yes, it's Superflex. 12 team. That part 2, right? So 12 in a 10-team league. Even Superflex doesn't get it quite high enough. You want your studs still, right? But you don't care about the middling ones. But you get to 12 or 14 teams. The scarcity of the position makes it so that the quarterbacks are spread across the teams far enough to where now not only do they score well, but you want to make sure you have enough. That's kind of the reason why we're so high on quarterbacks in Superflex.
Yeah, the easiest way you can describe it, right? It's the one position that has elite scores, right? So in most of your leagues, most vanilla leagues, 12-team Superflex leagues, your quarterbacks are going to score somewhere between 20, 25 points, like the elite ones, right?
Yep. Points per game, yep.
You have to be like Jamar Chase. You have to have a Christian McCaffrey from a couple years ago type season at another position to have that kind of impact. You might have 3 or 4 quarterbacks who are in that 20, 25-point range just in vanilla scoring. And then you add in the scarcity of the quarterbacks because you have to start 2 of them, right? And you're always going to want to start another quarterback in your Superflex spot. So think of it this way. If you don't have a quarterback to start in your Superflex spot, you're starting your worst bench skill player. Not your worst, but your next best bench guy that wouldn't have made your lineup anyways.
Against the Superflex spot, which is quarterbacks, right?
Which even like a middling QB2 is somewhere from like 15 to 20 points per game. So you're potentially starting a guy that's going to score 5 to 8 on a good week against somebody that's putting up 15 points, like doubling you up. So
Right.
you want to keep quarterbacks in the Superflex spot. So then you start talking about scarcity in 12-team leagues. If you got 12 teams, 2 quarterbacks starting every week, that means you got to start 24. A lot of teams are going to want a third guy, right, for bye weeks and injuries, right? Or poor play, right? You want another option. Now you're up to 36. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the entire NFL, right? That's it. And then, like we said, with bye weeks, now those come into play. Some weeks you only have 24 quarterbacks available to your team, right? Because we do get these bye-mageddons, right? This fucking crazy NFL wants to put like 6-7 teams on bye for a week. So, yes, that's why quarterback values get pushed up so much. And then if you look at just about any vanilla warp graph, you're going to see those elite quarterback line way up there, right? And it stays up there for quite a while. Yeah.
Yep.
So quarterback values get pushed up in dynasty Superflex leagues that are 12-team or greater.
Yep.
If it's not a Superflex or a 2-quarterback league, or it's a 10-team or an 8-team league, don't really fucking worry about it, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. And Warp is life. Warp.life gets you to the Warp tool. By the way, Jay, I know I see you need some shit. Certifiedsh.it get you. Fanatics literally will take you straight to the Fanatics website, and then also Ultimate Autographs, which is signed shit, will take you straight to Ultimate Autographs website. Our 2 main partners. All right, Mike. One last question here.
Who we got?
Rob Gronkowski.
Of course it's Rob Gronkowski.
You know it's Rob. Would you rather have a 27 third in Kittle or Penix in a 28 second? He accepted the Kittle side, Mike. You know Rob's playing 10 teams. Speaking of those teams.
If it's 10 teams, it's the third in Kittle, right?
Agreed.
If it's a 12-team
league, it's Penix in a second. Which, by the way, Rob, thank you for giving us a question so geared towards what we just were talking about. And JDC, that's why, legitimately, that is the reason the Warp tool is so valuable, right? It will help give you a graph that literally is going to tell you relative to the replacement players in your league and all the settings you have in your league. It just, boom, spits it out. Massively valuable. So that would be the reason there. And we got Matt Dennis saying, yo, listen,
what up,
man.
Matt?
What's up, Matt? Buddy, let's get up out of here, man. We got certified shit, though. Make sure you go check out certified shit as well as signed shit. Anything you got before we get out of here, buddy?
No. I like that mock draft. I wish that was
man.
a real league, though.
By the way, I'll make sure, I don't know, we'll make sure if it's not at the moment, we will get that into the description so you can go see the board. Let us know what you thought of it in the comments, what you thought of the mock draft, and if you're going to get into some startups, hopefully.
Fucking shimmy with the clutch.
Dude, Sharkhandrick West. You're not crazy. What a fucking way to get out of here, buddy, huh?
Thank you, Shimmy, for saving me. I was going to stay up for the next 8 hours, not sleep.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Got him. Clutch.
Way to go, Shimmy. Honestly, fantastic work. About damn time Adam appreciates me. I always appreciate you, Rob, but that was a great, well-timed question. We love you. We will see you back here, same time, same place, next week for AMA. I don't know why that just stopped, but we'll pretend that it didn't, and we'll get out of here. We love you. We're out of here. Peace.